Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. So today I'm going to start filling in the edges around the tiles. So I've got like a mastic which is the same colour as the beige grouting that we've used, so that hopefully it will seamlessly match together, but also it will look good on the wall as well, because the lime render is kind of beige. So that's to put around the edge, just to allow for any movement in the stone and the floor and things like that, so that it doesn't crack the grouting. We've also got behind me the oven cupboard, which I've sort of built, put in place. I now need to get that absolutely dead level, because my wife Lauren, she likes making cakes, and the one thing that annoys her more than anything else is an unlevel oven, because then her cakes won't rise dead level. So we've got to get that right. So I have to spend a bit of time making sure that is absolutely perfect, and then we can fit the cupboard. One of the other things we're going to be doing today is starting to get some of the furniture in. We've got a big white cabinet that we're going to kind of put in with all our glass and everything else. And we're hoping to get the sink in today at least, and then hopefully as well the oven, because the oven cupboard, just so we can start to get to the point where we're moving into the kitchen, so we can kind of start using it, and then we'll start doing some of the other snagging little bits and pieces afterwards once we've moved in. We're getting impatient, we want to get in, so we're just going to go for it and then finish some of the snagging issues later. So as you can see, we've managed to get the cupboard in with the oven, so we've got the oven and our microwave there, and I've managed to get the sink in place, and I've sealed around it, but I still need to do or attach all of the drainage and everything else and the water underneath, so I'm probably going to do that tomorrow now. We've put up our cupboard and got all our glasses in. So we've got so far, but there's still a little bit left to do. So I'm just here at the step of the doorway going into the main new kitchen now. And obviously we had to kind of step up in order to add our foundations, our insulation and the foundations and everything else. So there is a little bit of a step from the main house. We're also sort of on a slope as well, so I suspect that kind of didn't help matters. But we've got a step here, and what we want to try and do, again, what my wife wanted to do is match these hexagonal tiles that we've got in the kitchen on the actual bottom of the step here as well. So as you enter the room, there's kind of a hint of what's to come in the kitchen, and it will sort of hopefully tie it all together. So I've got all these tiles here ready. They're all cut, so now I need to get some tile glue and stick them on. Gluing the tiles onto the step here, but I'm just fixing the edging here as well. Obviously this comes away, so I'm going to glue this on, stick this on, and then I'm going to paint them white, so that hopefully this kind of part of the room will be finished. And then what I'm also going to do today is, now that the glue's dried on these tiles, I'm going to grout them as well, just so we can have the finished effect, and then we can get this part of the room clean and back into action. So you might have remembered that our electrical box is in our plasterboard wall, which is great because we kind of wanted to kind of hide it and kind of put it away rather than putting it on the stone wall that you can see here. But the problem is that we can feel a bit of a draft coming through the insulation through the wall. So what I'm going to do is build a cupboard sort of front to it that will sit on top, and then we'll be able to seal it to stop the air kind of coming in. So let's get measuring. So there we are, I finished the cover for the electrical box. I've just made it out of some spare wood, and then I'm going to paint it pink so it sort of disappears into the wall. But I'm happy with that. It opens and closes really easily, and it hides the box. So today I'm going to start putting the gold edging on our tiles here. So I'm just going to cut them to size and cut all the corners, and then I can stick them all down onto the tiles, and then I silicone them in place. So in order to cut the angles, what I'm trying to do is I'm using a hand saw and an angle block, so that I can actually mark out with a saw the exact angle that I need to then cut using the angle grinder. The hand saw would take me ages, so I want to use the angle grinder, but the thing with the angle grinder is I need to make sure I've got an exact line, so I cut the exact corner off. So I'm sort of doing a bit of both, a bit by hand just to mark it, and then a bit with that angle grinder to actually physically cut it. And that's given me a good result. And then I'm using a hand file just to file off the edges so there's nothing sharp at the edges after I've cut them. So I'm just sticking the edge on with silicone glue, and I'm really happy with the result. It looks really good. So I've now got one of the most important things up, which is the mirror ball. My wife really wanted a mirror ball in here, and for Christmas, Father Christmas gave her this mirror ball, and we bought a motor which turns it and 2 lamps is well either side. And the idea being was that it would reflect the mirror ball over the whole room. I was a little bit worried that it might look a bit more like a disco in here rather than a classy kitchen, but I'm really happy with the end result. It's actually not too big, and I've put the lights in. The lights are they're black, so they match the other lights, and they're quite small, so you can't see them very well. So yeah, I think I'm really happy with the result, and it looks great. So now I'm looking forward to seeing it on in the dark. So we found this old farm fork in our barn, and we thought it would make a great holder for our aprons. So I've just screwed it onto the plasterboard using a plasterboard fitting, and then our aprons can just hang on the fork. There we are, and it's just something quirky. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week I've got a tree to cut down and we need to do some work on the driveway. So make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified of my videos. And I'll see you next week. Cheers guys, bye.